talking about an increasingly more aggressive Fed, that raises the risks of recession, or at least raises the risk of negative growth. It doesn't have to necessarily be a technical recession. But absolutely, if the Fed goes 75 basis points and signals further 75 basis point increases going forward, I think we have to move up our recession call from early 2023 to late 2022.
And finally, Lindsay, how do you think Jay Powell today addresses the issue of inflation coming in from things that aren't necessarily in the Fed's control right now? Russia, Ukraine, obviously still a big question mark. And then there's what's playing out in China and whether, in fact, we could see more shutdowns. How much of that is coming through in the inflation print that we're seeing here? That's not necessarily in the Fed's control.
Well, that's exactly what I mean when I say that's stemming from the supply side, which renders traditional policy metrics less effective in reining in inflation. Again, raising the cost of capital via rate increases can tap down investment, tap down consumption, but it doesn't address any issues in terms of restoring balance to the global marketplace or resolution, which is needed overseas. And so when these issues are raised, I would expect the chairman to acknowledge that these are factors that are certainly contributing to elevated inflation, but I do think he will stop short of specifically articulating that the Fed does not have control over these issues.
Okay, we will all be watching this afternoon. Lindsay, appreciate the time today. Stifel Chief Economist Lindsay Piegza, along with our very own Brian Chung. Kind of weatherman too, right? He gave us a weather forecast there. All right, the brutal sell-off continues for crypto, with Bitcoin now on the brink of breaching the $20,000 level. The largest cryptocurrency now in the midst of its longest losing streak since 2014. Our very own Miles Udlin back in his familiar place with the chart of the day.
I did not know this was the chart of the day. Here it is. Bitcoin year-to-date losses, pretty straightforward. We're down 55%, and you kind of ask yourself the question, if you're looking at the camp.
Okay, folks, I wanted to show this to you because if anybody caught the Gray Man live stream last night, you heard a lot of information regarding this as well as other things. If you didn't, you might still be able to find it if you're interested, at projectgrayman.net. A lot of times he posts his videos there and so forth, but even the live streams. But anyway, he talked a lot about the economy, and you know, the man's been right. His source has been right a whole lot more than they've been wrong, if they've been wrong at all. And yeah, it takes weeks or months or what have you for them to come about, but you know, nothing happens, you know, right off the bat usually. But the interesting thing about this is he said yesterday, and I totally agree with him as well as a lot of other people, that if the Fed announces a 75 to 100 point base rate hike, that's what it's called. I mean, I'm not an economist. I know a little bit, but not a whole lot. But it's going to crash the economy. I mean, to put it in layman's terms, it's going to crash it. Right? When? Who knows? And there's a lot of speculation on that. Could happen still in the spring, maybe the summer. I don't know. But it's going to crash it. So, and that's exactly what he said, a 75 to 100 point base rate hike. And that's what it looks like they're going to do in less than 3 hours. So, you know, I don't even know what to say. Get what you can while you can. Do what you can while you can. Be prepared. Be as ready as you can for these things to occur. I personally believe that this economic judgment that we're seeing and will continue to see, I believe that this is the judgment from the decision that was made against Israel. That's just my personal opinion. I can't prove it. I just believe it. And as well as, like I said, weather-related events. Anybody paying attention to Yellowstone, for instance, if you're anywhere near Yellowstone, know anyone near Yellowstone, there's been massive flooding. People have mudslides. People have lost their homes. They've, you know, you can see footage where their homes are just sliding off, you know, into the water. I mean, just off the cliffs or whatnot. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, I think we're going to see more. As a matter of fact, I was contacted earlier today for someone that I trust that spends a lot of time in prayer, a lot of time with the Lord, and they said that the Father told them that he's not done with Yellowstone, that more's coming. So I think we're seeing a multiple facet of multiple phase of judgments coming down the pike here, and I believe that a lot of it has to do. I mean, there's a lot of different sins, a lot of different things that we are doing in this nation that are totally against God's laws and what He wants to see done. But I think messing with Israel, that might have done us in, folks. We're gonna find out, but that might have done us in. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. Be prepared. Less than 3 hours. Fed is supposed to, or it's speculated that they will announce that 75-point base rate hike, and that could do it. That could really do it. So be as ready as you can be. Don't look at the Dow and the Nasdaq and S&P. Oh, it's on the green and it's going up. That means nothing. You know, the bottom line is, you know, it's the bond market, and it's, you know, what's happening with the interest rates on houses, and people just can't afford to live. It's crazy. It's insane. So ignore all the crap in the green you see in the corner. Who cares? You know, the bottom line is cryptocurrency's crashing. You know, the rate hike will increase the interest rates, and people just simply will not be able to afford to live. All right. Hope you all have a good rest of the day. Take care. Bye-bye.